Hey, what's up? It's your boy Dante Bowe, and you're watching Gospel Music Buzz. Check out our latest interview.
And we are back with another episode of The Buzz. I'm your host, Sherwin, with Gospel Music Buzz. And today, y'all, we're joined by Grammy Award-winning, multi-platinum selling singer, songwriter, performer, and dare I say, fashionista. You might have seen him, New York Fashion Week, Paris. I mean, put some respect in his name, yo. Dante Bowe. Welcome to the show, my brother.
I like that. Thank you so much. I'm grateful to be here, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I like how you're starting early. I'm grateful to be here, and then it just goes
I've been
up from
saying
there.
it all day.
Oh man,
Yeah.
This is it here, huh? December, final month of the year. Grateful is out. You've been on a massive press run all over. We appreciate you carving out some time, to pop in and to chat with us a little bit. And we're gonna talk about the single because I love the single. I love the feature. Definitely, Fridayy you featured with there on the single as well. But before we even sort of jump into the music itself, kind of just taking a step back, because I feel like right now I'm sort of in my grateful era right now. And just, that song itself is literally the soundtrack to what's happening.
Exactly.
It's just like it's there. Everyone can really just latch on to it. I know it haven't been that long since it's been released, but what are some of the feedbacks you've been getting so far?
People love it. I think there's nothing not to like about it. It's just a song about gratitude, and if you're against gratitude, then you're in a lot more trouble than you know. And so people love it. I get it's being streamed like crazy. It's doing really, really, really good. And so I don't know how big it's gonna get, but it's only been out for a few days, for a week, whatever. But it's been doing very good, like high numbers, and I'm so grateful to my supporters, for just sticking it out with me and coming along for the ride.
No, and I like that too, because even kind of, I guess, usually a lot of times you see, a year in review, like right now everyone is posting their Spotify raps. There's always going to be all the list of, here are the top this, the top that. But what would be on your grateful year in review list? Like, what are some things that if you were to just take a second and think back upon whether it could be personal, professional, just like what are some things that you're grateful for?
Oh, yeah, everything. I'm grateful to be here with you and for you giving me this opportunity to have a voice. I'm grateful for my parents, like my family in general, my friends.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that God is always with me, and He keeps me just in perfect peace, and leading me, guiding me, protecting me, and He still speaks to me today. And there's so much I could say. I'm grateful for everything.
I like that.
Yeah, the good and the bad. The Bible says in all things give thanks. So, even when stuff don't go my way, be glad, because you don't know what God was protecting you from.
No, this is true, and I think what you touched on, because a lot of times you hear folks getting to the spirit of gratitude when it's Thanksgiving. Throughout the year, whether things go good, things go bad, you may hear, thank God for this or whatnot, but it's heavy on the gratefulness come Thanksgiving, right? And as you slide into December, that kind of shifts. But I think, it's really important just to have a song track such as this, just to have a song like this that just fully articulates, right? Like, if you never did anything else for me, you've done enough, right? So that, I think, just kind of starting with that alone, and then talking about grateful, I guess, just from a professional side of things, I saw you made a post a little while back that you got your third gold record that came in at some point. Was it at some point this year?
Yeah, I did. I got my gold third record. I think it was for Gratitude, another song I wrote.
Yeah. So I'm starting to see a pattern here. I'm starting to see a pattern. There's gratitude and there's grateful.
The gift that keeps on giving. I used to have this this light up sign above my piano. I don't have it anymore. I think it might be in storage. But it used to say gratitude is everything. And I really like that sign. I should find it and put it back up. But yeah, I got the 3rd gold plaque, and I mean, things just come in randomly. I knew the song went gold, but I didn't know if it was gonna come or whatever. I just kind of waited out, and stuff just starts showing up at the door.
But how does that feel, though? Because I think, as a songwriter, as a creative, you sitting down, and I want to definitely touch a little bit just on your creative process, how you typically get songs when you're writing, how do you navigate that? But once you've written something and you've seen it start to take off like that, and it's, it's hitting, you're getting, BMI awards, you're getting all these different things. When you now have to go back to the pen and pad again, like, what is that feeling? Are you thinking, hey, I gotta outdo myself from that last one, now I gotta get something else? Like do you just forget about that and start it all over afresh? Like, what's your approach when you're now, getting back to that pen and pad?
Yeah, like outdoing myself is a thing, but not with numbers. I don't really care about numbers. Like, I don't really notice a song is popping until it is. Like, I don't really look at stuff like, my team will send me updates on what's it streaming like, so that's about it. I don't necessarily go through the CCLI thing. I don't check Billboard like that. Like, they send it to me when it's like top 10 and number 1 and like whatever. But I maybe what I try to do is outdo myself creatively. Like, I think when I sit back down, I just want to make a better album every time. I want to, not better, but I want to make something that's more authentic than the last time, and and figure out new ways to articulate myself, because I've written a lot of songs, so I'm just figuring out how to like use different scenarios in my life and different words, and I just wrote this song like with these old hymn words, and I just try to be more creative every single day, and that's me outdoing myself. But I don't sit down and try to compete with the last song. Like, I don't care about number ones because it's so easy to get them. Like, God got me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Come on, talk about it.
I don't really trip out about whether something's gonna be successful. I just do what I'm called to do, and God does the rest, for real.
I love that, because see, that's that dependable trust, because you're not focused on one thing, and as it comes and it keeps coming as a flood. I was reading, I believe it might have been the 64th Grammys, I think it was, with you getting that much nomination in both the Christian as well as, as the Christian and the gospel category. All the nominations that came in, and it's also, again, congratulations on the win as well too. I know you received your Grammy as well for that. So just even navigating through all of that, just seeing just like one record after another that's just being broken, and just that elevation over and over, especially just knowing that you've also had to navigate some periods where you step away from music, because there was that time where you just didn't do music. You stepped away. Everyone is sitting thinking, is he going to come back? Is he going to do music? How is he doing, physically, mentally? But started taking that break, and then basically just catapulting forward. Like, how does that feel, just not even the accolade aside, but just from, I guess, like a mental perspective, just the importance of taking that break whenever it was necessary?
I am very in tune with myself, my body. Like, I'm talking mind, body, soul. Like, I'm in tune with myself, and a lot of times it has rubbed people the wrong way, because I will stop when I feel like it's supposed to be a pause. You know what I mean? And I would take time with myself, my friends, and God, and I'm happy there, just as happy as I am in the studio working on music, and so I don't really have those thoughts like, like when you say, how does it feel, taking that break and catapulting forward? It's like, I'm just doing me. I don't know. Like, I don't know how. I know when to stop. I know when I feel grace on a song.
Yeah.
I know when I feel grace on the album. Like, a lot of people look down on me for the last album, the R&B album, but the reason why I did so well is because I felt like it was the right thing to do. You know what I mean? And I think as long as I am authentic in my approach, and I am making music that my nieces and nephews can listen to. I don't really think about success like that no more. I had everything. So I don't desire records and the number ones and da da da. I know that's gonna happen, and if it doesn't, it's fine.
Yeah.
I've had everything and I've lost everything too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, no, you see, there's something you mentioned just now, even with that last record, right? Because again, like you said, folks were talking some things about, the R&B side of it, different side of it, but you've been very bold when it comes to just making music, and I guess the phrase that was probably somewhere I read was borderless genres, I believe, to
Hmm.
something to that degree, because you're going to make music, but it may not fit the direct confine. Like, hey, here's the box for a gospel song,
Yeah.
here's the box for a CCM song. Maybe do it this way, and it may be R&B, but if you do it too much, then you got a reggae hit on your hands. So there's all these different things when it comes to that. But there's always that question of, if you're making music to reach others beyond the confines of a particular song or a particular format, at the end of the day, like, aren't you doing what you're supposed to do? Like, when you're approaching and you're seeing feedback like, hey, maybe there should have been a bit more clapping of hands or a bit more shouting or something like that, like, do you allow that to sort of cloud when you now have to go create again, or are you just going to stay in that vein, like, hey, I feel as though I'm moving the way I need to move, and I'm just going to keep going there?
It's about the opinions of people.
Yes.
Does it affect what I do?
Yes.
No. I laugh. I laugh because they think they can do what I do.
Mm.
Like, it's comedy. It's like there's no facts in it. There's no facts in their approach because they've never done this before. So it's just all opinion based. And then you don't supposed to lean on your own understanding like that. And so I
Yeah.
just laugh at it. I'm like, even when it's good advice, it's like, dang, like that's some wisdom more than anything. But there's no factual element to it because
Yeah.
they've never been in my position. So it's just some girl from Iowa saying, I think you need to da 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 da. But it's like, why? What are you doing right now for me to be so inspired to change what I
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
to live like you? And so I love my life. I love the life God gave me. It's not easy. It's not glamorous. I think the glamour comes in when I get to be with my friends and my family and do what
Yeah.
I want. You know what I mean? Like, go out to eat where I want and hang out, and go on vacation. Like I love my people that that are in my circle, but I don't allow people outside of those people to
To kind of speak louder. Yeah.
speak into my life. Like, what relational equity do they have?
Mm. Relational
know,
equity. I like.
I
I like
have
that.
leaders. I have people. I have Tasha Cobbs. I have, Sabrina Harrison, and I have, Tim Ross. Like, it's like people that have, like, in the worst times of my life still showed up for me.
Yeah.
So that's who I give the leeway to tell me what I should do.
No, and I think that you kind of said that too, because there has to be folks that's gonna still show up, right? It's not so much the talking, because you can talk as much as you want to, but there also got to be some kind of backing, some kind of action, that's gonna follow through behind that. And you mentioned, your people, kind of like, that team you started or you co-founded, True Music, the label that is there, and kind of seeing, knowing what you were doing before. You were signed to this label before, and you went ahead, when you guys started parted ways, started this label, and you're just doing certain things that you probably felt that.
I was signed to Bethel, not Maverick.
Oh, Bethel. I thought you were trying
Bethel
to Tribe.
Music.
Okay, got it. So you were signed to Bethel. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
Got
worked with Tribal.
Got it. Okay, that's good information. I'm glad I'm not putting out fake news, y'all. Not putting out fake news here. All right. So now having a label now that you're currently with, you've co-founded now. Do you now intentionally, as you guys are bringing on new acts, are you intentional about saying, hey, knowing what I've known from being with other labels before, this is how I want this experience to be for myself and for others? Like, are you, like, how is that process now, as you now going to be responsible for your own career and the careers others that you guys are bringing folks in?
Yeah, it's a team of people over at True now at this point of it. We have a lot of moving parts. And the only thing I guarantee is that it's peaceful and it's joy and it's easy and we all get along. We're all actual friends. And my artist Tiana, we were making her album with joy. You know what I mean? And there was no pressure for her to blow up, even though her album did really well.
Yeah.
And we didn't care, though. You know, I want a healthy environment at True always. And it really is healthy. And it's quiet. Like, the music is loud, but it's just a quiet space. It feels like home. I feel, and Sabrina, we just wanted, and Brandon Bailey, like, we just wanted to make it, you know, cozy and not like a label.
Yeah.
So it's family,
Like
you
that.
know. And a lot of people say that. So when I say it, I'm serious.
A lot of people say a lot of
A lot of
things.
people say that. Like, I'm close to my artist. I'm very close to my producer. I'm very close to my execs. Like, we like each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it shows whenever you see, you know, you guys are out, you guys are moving around. Like, you definitely see,
We hang out.
you see that camaraderie. You
Yeah.
see that for sure. You know, and I'm gonna jump right into
Which that is missing in the industry. A lot of times, those artists don't even know who's running their label. They never even went to dinner with those people. They
Yeah.
And their careers are in the hands of people that they don't even know, you know. And so we don't want that space in between us and the artists that are working with us.
I think that intentionality is good, right? Because when you've been somewhere and you've done a thing that you sort of like know, like, hey, you know, this is how I think this sort of needs to be, you know, going forward. And I was going to ask, before even touching the music side of things, fashion is a big part of you. You know, you've done, you know, a lot when it comes to just your, you know, how you present yourself, you know, when it comes from the clothing, you know, the hair, the jacket, whatever it is. At which point during your journey you decided to say, hey, you know, I've always liked fashion, but now I'm just going to lean into it and, you know, be a bit more expressive with that? Like, at which point of that you decided, hey, I'm just going to, you know, go in that direction?
I've always been like that, you know, since I was young. My mom used to dress me and my brother alike. I didn't get to shop for myself till I was like in 5th grade. Like, I didn't get to pick out my clothes until I was in 5th grade, because my mom just would dress me and my brother. She made sure we were greased up and we looked nice and presentable. We had haircuts, and my dad always dressed really nice. He had crease. He used to put a crease down the middle of his pants.
Can't
His
go wrong with
t-shirts
the
were
crease.
really white. And I went to a church that got in Christchurch. My grandmother wore
Colchester.
hats that matched her suit jacket, that matched her dress.
Yeah.
She had the matching shoes and stockings on, and you know, it was like you dressed presentable to go to church.
Yeah.
That we didn't just wake up and go. You know what I mean? It was like a event.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and so I just carried that into my life, and I think it became serious. It chased me. Like, I think once I started getting well known in music, people took a notice to it, and magazines and Vogue and different people like that would take notice of me and like ask me. But I wasn't reaching out like the people. It was just I always had a sense of fashion, and I never liked to give my supporters the bare minimum in the name of trying to be humble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to present myself well because I want to inspire everybody. I don't want to just inspire, you know, the person that maybe is used to tradition. You know, maybe they'll get that in one of my songs. But then there's some young kid out there that, you know, maybe want to be a Christian artist, but they don't see anything pulling them toward it, you know? And maybe they like my shoes or something like that. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I just think fashion kind of pursued me after I was so diligent in my waking up and making sure my appearance was on point.
I mean, and you've been doing a great job with that too.
Thank
so
you.
Definitely, man. Wherever we see you there, I mean, you know, you're doing it. So salute to you with that. No,
I wasn't into fashion all year though. This year, I didn't do anything. I didn't shop until I was about to release Grateful, and then my stylist and like Carlos and all them came, and we did fitness. I was like, I love it again. Like, it was like I haven't been doing it, but then I'm like, okay, I love it. I'm like, I'm buying that jacket. I'm buying it. Like, it's like, okay, I'm gonna keep it. But it was so cool. Like God gave me the grace this year to not release any music, do any interviews, or or shop, and I did that. I really
Yeah.
did that,
So
which is a miracle. All three of those things are miracles.
yeah, exactly, because
But I
artists
did it happy. I was
artists love
happy.
to release music.
Yeah,
so.
it's like that's your job, But I was so content. I was like, it was already October, and I'm like, wow, I did it. I did what I said I was going to do in January. I love when I can keep my promises to myself.
Well, talking about new music, as we start to navigate a little into that, just starting with the feature itself. Grateful, it's out, it's available everywhere. But just the feature now, as you're going in to write something, and I want to touch a little bit on the writing process, but as you're writing, at which point do you say, hey, I think this person would be the perfect feature for this song? Like, where does that even come into play? Once it's completion, midway through, like, how does that come into it? And then just talk a little bit about the lyrics, because those are like just deep, heartfelt lyrics. It seems like you don't just make lyrics like that up. You have to be at a place where you just so dependable on Christ, and you just have this grateful spirit that is not just in lyric form, but it's just manifesting throughout you. So just talk a little bit about that going in to the writing and then the feature.
Yeah, I wrote it alone, and I freestyled it. So that's Grateful is one big freestyle. I didn't write that song. I just kept saying, I am never forgotten, you have always been God. I'm like, oh, go back. And I add the next part. And I'm like, go back.
Freestyling, and you just going on the mic and just start singing and flowing and just really.
Making it up as I go. And then I finished it in like 30 minutes.
You kidding me?
I'm not joking. And then we called Fridayy and my producer works with Fridayy as well. Shout out to Chaz. And we FaceTime Fridayy, let him hear the song. He loved the song. And so he agreed to put it out, but we couldn't put it out when I wrote it or when we were done with it. So this year, I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew I wasn't going to release any music, but my friend was going through a tough time, and I let her hear the song Grateful, and she encouraged me to put it out during Thanksgiving.
And you see, and I see, so that's just
in the feature. Yeah, that's how the feature came and how I wrote it. Yeah.
And then how you started wrote. But so when your friend was going through that, you let her hear it, and seeing what sort of her reception, her feedback was from that. You're like, hey, you know what? I think like this is something I definitely want to get out there. But how long were you sitting on it even before that? Was this something you
like a year?
Like a year.
Mm-hmm. And my friends are like everything to me. And I get so sad when bad things happen, their children or something, And it was a family issue, and nothing could have made me release music this year.
Wow.
Nothing could have, except one of my best friends struggling and then having the revelation like, oh, I think you should release this. And I'm like, I will.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It was two of them. One of my best friends. That one of them lives here. And his wife is doing IVF, and they had a miracle. The baby is here, or it's all good. And they were listening to my song while they were doing the surgery.
Wow, that's definitely a reason for sure.
Yeah.
If anything else, that's a reason 100%.
Almost made it to the first.
Wow, that's crazy.
So we kicked into high gear and we did all the videos and the photos, and we randomly called the team back up. I had to do press again, and it was like my world was not this.
Yeah.
For the entire year, from January until Grateful.
It was just more focusing on your artist and the label and other things.
No, not even. My artist had just dropped her album, but she's totally self-sufficient. Like, she's such a powerful artist and just a good steward of her art. She has her own assistants. She has her life. She has her own media team. So I would just call her and give her advice and stuff like that. But she has full creative control over
Yeah.
whole brand, you know. So mostly I was just at the house, and then I was, you know, hanging out with my friends, and then I'll go to the studio. But usually I was letting my friends and stuff record their albums this year. So I would just go and help them, you know. That's what I was really doing.
That's a good friend, man. That's a good friend to have, y'all. Shout out to the friends out there, to the real ones.
That's what I was doing, man. And then I would record a song here and there, and yeah, I'm starting to get back into the studio now, though.
Nice. Well, listen, man, we're here. We're definitely looking forward to everything else that's coming down the pipe. We know it's gonna be creative, because I think that's one thing we can expect from you. It's going to be different. It's going to be creative. It's still going to pull whoever needs to be pulled back to Christ, or to uplift, or to empower. Like there's definitely going to be that solid message that's going to be, you know, that's going to be able to receive from that. And it's wild, because the thought just came back to me. I think years ago, my wife and I, we were in, got to be at least 10, maybe 12 years ago. We were in Atlanta, and Eddie James was singing at a church in Atlanta, and you were there. You were there at that church, and just talking about like moments, like, you know, my wife was an independent artist, and she performed that night, and then he turned and he asked, he was like, "Hey, how much CDs do you guys have?" And we were like,
I remember that.
We were like, oh, I think we got like, I don't know if it was 50 or 100 CDs we bought. And he was like, I'm going to buy every single CD that night. Yeah, he was like, I'm going to buy every single CD.
I remember that. I swear, like faintly remember
Yeah,
that.
because you were singing with him that night. And that was just like, as an independent artist, just for someone to do that, I was like, man, that was definitely something super.
Eddie's awesome.
Yeah, that was super impactful. And then even talking about taking, you know, breaks from stuff like that. Like she took, you know, because of illness and stuff, she took a massive 7-year break, and now she's right back into the studio again. So I think like what you said is just about, you know, going through different times and deciding when to release, when to write, and so forth. You know, I think that's key. So that definitely just triggered back that memory from there. But, you know, we were talking about, you know, you called up Fridayy, you had access to him, called him up, you know, played the song for him. Now, when you writing the song, you're going through that, was he the one that you're like, hey, I think he has to be the one for this song? Like, how does a decision like that even come about?
No, Fridayy wrote first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like my producer was like, there's a song Fridayy wrote. He only did the chorus for now. You want to hear it? It's like a Christian song. I'm like, what? Let me hear it. Just to be nosy, you know?
Yeah.
And then obviously he had probably add some more stuff to it
Yeah.
later. But I'm saying like the original demo was, if he never did another thing, he did enough. I was like, oh, it's really a Christian song. It's Fridayy. I was like, I want to do it. And I don't think I've ever told anybody all this, like the origin, like that level. But and then obviously, you know, he had to go and, you know, when it was official, do whatever he had to do to it, and then send it back. But the original demo, was his chorus. Yeah.
Dope. That's solid, because I think when we saw Fridayy kind of just dabbled a bit within the space, I believe was the song. I think he did the song with Will Smith. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. I think it was a song that maybe a month or two ago. I think it was something he did with Will Smith, and you know what that
we
they performed.
recorded this one first.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm serious. It was last year, but yes, the song with Will Smith. Yes,
yeah. Because that's why when the name. Because again, prior to that, while I've heard of Fridayy, like I couldn't quote his lyrics. Like it's not something that I was in there going for. But then when I saw it popped up, I was like, oh, okay, that's dope. So so it's good to see he's making Christian music. You know, music that's just pulling and inspiring. And I think that's what I love to see, right? Because there's an audience that would be out there that would probably not go ahead and even think about listening to a song that they may see Dante on a song. They're like, maybe I'll give it a shot. But you see Dante featuring Fridayy, and they might have, listened and known his music, and now they're listening to this, and they were in a space where this song is like really touching them and the
Yeah.
song is really ministering to them. So again, kind of just going back to that, being bold enough to, take risk and make music that, may not always fit in that singular linear track to say, hey,
sure.
this is where you got to go and this is what you're going to do. So now even with the different pieces that you're putting in place with this, are we thinking that, now that you got the itch again now, are you gonna just go there and just knock out an entire EP, an entire album? We're gonna set this tour up. Like, what are we thinking here at 2025?
I'm gonna tour for my supporters 2025 for sure. I'm gonna release. I already have technically 2 albums, but I have one that I'm gonna definitely release, a big one. But before that, I have now this new vision for this project that I think I want to do. I can't even say a little bit because then it will give it away.
So it's all good if you don't want to
yeah,
say. Don't worry about it. We're gonna be locked in. We're gonna be locked in.
After making the Grateful release happen,
Yeah.
I think I know what I want to do next. It's good.
Listen.
I haven't even done anything yet.
Listen, man.
I already feel it.
I'm gonna make sure I stay as close as possible to the team. Shout out to the team out here. Team, I know who you are. I'm gonna stay close. I'm gonna be emailing. So what's Dante up to these days? Anytime you pop up on that IG live, I'm gonna be locked in because we definitely need this. We definitely, and it's good to see you laughing, man.
Yeah.
All that aside, it's good to see joy. It's just good to
sir.
see, it's good to see this
Yes, sir.
side right here.
Thank you.
Because that's necessary, 100%. The music, everything else, but it looks like you're in a good space mentally.
sure.
You're in a good space, physically. You're just doing what you got to do, man, and that's super great just to see. Any last messages, words you want to either just say, what it could be, on the song itself, like what do you want folks to take away from the song, or just any message you may just have on your heart for just someone that is, could be out there, they may be going through something this holiday season, just whatever it is that you kind of feeling in the moment you want to drop.
I would just say, like, don't give up. Stay encouraged. Things can get scary and it can get dark and get lonely, but you have to have faith that God is able to bring you out and make a way out of no way. And I want to say that just the greatest point of tension is like right before the breakthrough. It's like we have like a rubber band and you like keep more tension, pop. And don't give up before your breakthrough happens.
Love that. Listen, y'all, Dante Bowe, Grateful featuring Fridayy. It's available every single way, every platform. Check it out. You guys want to make sure you tap into it. Follow Dante. You got a little sneak peek of, what's sort of coming 2025, man. I'm excited about it. You should be excited too, y'all. Dante, appreciate you coming
Thanks
on the
for
bus,
having me,
man.
brother.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right.